What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the 182 News Podcast. This is your host, poppincurbs, and we have a returning guest, the legend himself, Mr. Davey Jones. Davey, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Poppin?
I'm doing good. We chat all the time, but the last time I saw you in person was the most hungover I've been in the past 5 years. I was dropping you off at the airport after a voyage to a Blink-182 show in Nashville. We made it happen. It was one of the best nights ever. But yeah, that was the last time I saw you, dude. What's up?
It feels like a decade ago, but that was only what, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, somebody actually messaged me on that a couple days ago and they said, "Did you actually meet up with Davey?" I guess they were going through old podcasts or something. I was like, "Yeah, dude, we met up and had a great time. It was awesome." We talked about syncing after that, and I feel like, man, we've had so many episodes we've wanted to do for the past couple years. Like, when was the last time we even officially did a pod? Do you remember?
Dude, I can't even remember. Did we talk about Seattle at all? I don't recall.
I literally can't remember.
Hmm.
I mean, I feel like we've done a video. What was the last video we did?
Oh, we did the sticker strap like placement video.
So we did quite a few sticker strat videos for YouTube. But
Yeah.
my gosh, I know you came on once after our three-part original chat, but I don't know. In the back of my mind, the next time you came on, I was going to name this episode Davy Jones Returns Again. So that's what
Right.
I'm going to call this one. So we're
Yeah.
back. We've had a ton of stuff we've wanted to hit on, and that may come later. I don't even think we synced on the Nashville show we went to. You went to the Palladium show. We were going to chat about that at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about, I think you set up in the cheap seats for a show and wanted to kind of hit on like your experience, like actually seeing the production. We didn't sync on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That was Portland. Yeah.
Yeah, so we never did do that one. But the point of this episode, it's a bit of an emergency podcast, to be honest. We just figured out we wanted to do this like, what, 4 hours ago?
Pretty much.
It's a big deal, folks. So Mark busted out an Ernie Ball Music Man StingRay for the first time in 27 years on stage with Blink, which is absolutely insane. It's his green one that Davey named Mr. Green. And we thought, we got to chat about this, man. This is pretty fucking rad, like, not gonna lie. What's your thoughts, just like off the top of the head before we dive deep into this? Like, how rad was that?
I'll be honest with you, Poppin. I never, ever, ever thought he would do it. Ever.
I didn't
That
either.
because I've talked with Mark a lot about Music Man's versus the Fenders, especially the Fenders that he plays now, which are very smaller body, very lighter weight. Like a Music Man, a Stingray is built like a tank. It's heavy as shit, and you really gotta like muscle it if you're gonna go out there. Like I have one, I love it, but they're really a bulky piece. And he loved the Music Mans when he had them, but talking to Mark about them, he's always been like, yeah, I'll never play a heavy bass like that ever. Like I want my lightweight Fenders. He loves his little Jazz and Jag bodies now.
Hmm.
So I was literally shocked. What was your impression like when the video clips and the pics started showing up that night?
I didn't think he would bust it out. And part of it, I was even thinking about the Fender side of it. Like, obviously, he has a new signature Fender out. They're hooking him up with tons of basses. I wasn't quite sure if he would be able to even play one if he wanted to be honest. But yeah, that paired with the fact that it's just so old. Like, I didn't even know if it would be
Yeah,
functional.
yeah,
And then, as you mentioned, the size of it, and he's been preferring the thinner necks. I mean, he swapped out all his P-bass necks, I think, with jazz
yeah.
necks at this point. So I was shocked. I mean, we're going to get into, I guess, how this thing came to be and brought out on stage. But I think
And I
before,
mean, and Poppin, his signatures for what, 25 years? It's just a volume knob, right? There's
yes,
like zero EQ. And yet the Ernie Ball Stingray Music Man active pickups and max EQ. It's a three band. Some of them even have a four band EQ. So it's like the exact opposite of what he loves to play. I just wanted to point that out. It's so strange.
before we dive deep into just nerding out on Mr. Green, I feel like we need to talk quickly about just the Ernie balls he had. I did a video on this last year, I think, that was a pretty good breakdown, but let's just touch base in case people are just diving into this blindly about kind of his Ernie ball history. So, do you want to take this or me? Either way.
Well, I mean, the rundown is, and again, this is a mixture of names that Mark himself came up with and names that the fan community came up with that Mark adopted. Okay. So I learned this one from Mark, his famous black Ernie Ball Music Man, which he purchased in the fall of 1994, I believe, and played it live, his only live bass through the spring of 97 when he got his Sonic Blue P Fender. And then he used it as kind of his second backup bass into that fall, and then it was retired. Mark himself calls that Black MM. So we all call that one Black MM.
Hmm.
The next one that comes to mind is the peach colored or kind of salmon colored bass, which he got custom from Ernie Ball. A buddy of ours, yours and mine, named Joey, named that Peachy, and Mark adopted that and has called it Peachy ever since. And Peachy now lives wonderfully, wonderfully with Joey. Okay. Then we have one that I call Baby Blue, and that kind of got adopted. Baby Blue is the bright blue bass, which now I believe Mark gave it to Chris Holmes. Is that right? He gave it to Chris
Correct.
Holmes.
Yep.
And then we have Mr. Green, which I named. I named it Mr. Green after, if you've seen Reservoir Dogs, Mr. White, Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue. I was like, Mr. Green. And it stuck, and Mark started using it. And Brian Diaz, his tech, is now posting on socials calling it Mr. Green. People on Reddit call it Mr. Green, so I guess it's officially Mr. Green now. Um, so just to remind on the fates, both Black MM and Peachy were gifted to Adam. I forget his last name, but Adam, who was the bass player, rest in peace, he passed away kind of recently, was the bass player for Phoenix TX, formerly River Phoenix. Mark gave them both to him. We don't know what happened to Black MM. Peachy wound up with an owner who loved it for many, many years, like 20 something years, and that's where Joey acquired it from. We mentioned that the Baby Blue is with Chris Holmes, and Mr. Green Poppin is the only one he kept. The only one he kept. It's been in storage for, what did you say, 27 years
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Those are the four.
Yep.
And I mean, just kind of some of the stuff to add to what you had already laid out. So the black one, that's my personal favorite of the four because it
Yeah.
was such a
Yeah.
tour dog. I
Yeah.
mean, I still think we need to get nerdy and try and calculate this. I think out of all of his bases, that one still may hold the record for the amount of Blink shows played.
I would say, based on my history nerd knowledge, if you're counting every gig, and you have to remember, back before they were a touring national band, they were playing five, six, sometimes nights a week, just locally, right? So if you count every gig from fall 94 all the way to mid-spring 97, I think Black MM would hold the record for total Blink performances.
Yeah.
For me, what's so sexy is the white guard on the black body. I just love how classic that look is.
Yeah, dude. And that, I mean, I've said it a million times, but dude, that paired with the sticker strat, like those were the axes for 3 years when Blink was
Yeah,
coming up,
yeah,
busting their fucking
yeah.
ass and just gigging and gigging. Like those are the three. If you see early Blink photos, 94 through 97, like
Uh-huh,
those are the two
uh-huh.
guitars they're playing. So that's the black one. Then
Yep.
we do have the baby blue, and Christopher Holmes was kind enough to send me photos of that a couple
Oh,
years
wow.
back.
Wow.
He was working on that, and he had told me at the time that his plan was, I guess, to refurbish that in some capacity and get it back in playing shape because the photo he sent me, it looked pretty nasty and the
Yeah,
pickups
it
were
wasn't like the
gutted.
guards off and it's all messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one is with Chris Holmes. And then, as you mentioned, our friend Joey, Blink 182 bass project, he found and was able to buy Peachy, and that's an insane story. That's on the YouTube channel somewhere. He came on
Right,
right when
right.
that happened, and
Yeah, yeah.
you can kind of dig into that if you'd like. But then the one that Mark has still had this whole time is the green one. And it's just a metallic green. And my understanding from what Joey has said as well is this one was fairly rare to find. I mean, he doesn't have a ton of pictures of this from a historical perspective. I mean, obviously he played it, but there's a very small window there really for all of these. It's basically 98 for
Yeah.
those three. So the last known live performance with Blink, my understanding is that's what, November-ish, 1998,
I
when
want
Mark
to say
actually played it.
I want to say there was a picture taken at a festival in Hawaii, which would have been early December 98. That's the last picture I've seen of Mr.
Okay.
Green. Yeah.
And when did you actually see this? Because you've got some cool pics of this being played.
So yeah, I was kind of busy in the summer of 98. I was in college, I was traveling. And I didn't see as many Blink shows as I wanted to, but I caught two dates. I caught two dates both at the Ventura Theater. This would have been, let's see, July 28th and July 29th, 1998. There's a ticket subs. Ventura Theater. Out of all the pictures popping, I took the entire run of like 97 into 98. I only have three photographs of Mr. Green because by the time I saw them again in the fall, when they played with Travis at Soma for the first time, they did two nights back to back. I was at both those nights. It was all baby blue. And in the photograph you see here, you can see Mr. Green and Peachy are in the quiver right off to the side. He only played baby blue the whole time. So out of all my pictures, only three of Mr. Green remain. Here they are, the three from the Ventura Theater. And you'll notice in the lighting, the paint scheme is not matte. It's not flat. So, the black is like totally flat matte. There's no gloss on it at all, right? But you can see here, depending on the lighting, the green gets really dark, like an emerald green, or it gets really bright, kind of like an Irish green. There's almost a shimmery, a little bit of a metallic thing going on there. And we do know, I think from conversations with Ernie Ball, it was a custom paint color, and not many of them, even if beyond marks, were made.
Yeah, even the picture that Brian Diaz, his tech, posted today that Mark shared, basically saying like we busted this out last night. I was looking at that closely because that's one of the best pictures we have of it, to be honest, up close. And I
Yeah.
was almost thinking, my God, is this like a sparkly green finish? It's a very
There's a
unique
little
metallic finish.
shimmer of some kind in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of 1998, we've got the picture of it in December. We know it's played at least late in 1998. And
Yep.
then Blink goes into the studio to record a little album called Enema of the State in January. 15 million records sold worldwide, no big deal. And as they enter the studio with Jerry Finn, this is the bass that Mark has with him. And legend has it, Mark tracks all of Enema with this Mr. Green Ernie Ball
I
StingRay.
mean, not even Legend had it. Like Mark said, he said, I tracked the entire album on Mr. Green. And then for whatever reason, in conversation with Finn, they were like, nope. And I'm sure you know this story, yeah, about the origin of Petey. If you guys know
Totally.
Petey, right? Petey's that tobacco gradient, orange to brown. I think it's just a P base. Yeah, it's a P base. Mark says that him and Finn drove to North County, Escondido, to the San Marcos Guitar Center and bought it off the rack. Nothing special at all. No deal with Fender. Bought it off the rack and then retracked the majority of Enema on PD.
Yeah.
But there are parts, if you have a good ear, and Pop and I know you have a pretty good ear, you can tell those moments where the Music Man is still there. I believe it's most pronounced on a song like Wendy Clear. You can definitely hear, okay, that's a Music Man. That's not a Fender P. But yeah, most of the album was completely retracked on PD.
Yeah. So, I mean, this guitar, from a lore standpoint, historical perspective, which I'm all about, dude, half of Enema is tracked with this. I mean, just
Yeah.
absolutely iconic. It's really interesting because we've always heard that Jerry Finn was very particular about like the sounds and was an audiophile. It's interesting to me that obviously for some reason they went to go get a different bass. I suspect it would be, I always hear like the Ernie balls have a bit of a slinky or kind of clinkiness to them that you can pick up on if you listen to it.
Well, yeah, it's the three band EQ, and it really depends on where you're putting your treble, your mids, and your bass to get that kind of sound. Yeah.
It's interesting to me that they would go through the effort of buying a new bass, bringing it back, and then only keeping it for half of the tracks, though. Isn't that kind of weird? They must have just been okay with half being the Ernie ball.
I want to feel like it's more like three quarters are PD, and then we know Wendy Clear, and people have nerded out on this. What moments and what songs they think they can hear the Music Man. I'd say
Yeah.
definitely Wendy Clear is probably the most prominent, but yeah, like three quarters of it just redone. But Mark tells stories. I think one's in his book about how Jerry Finn would like he was such a gear nerd, he would spend a whole day testing patch cables. Like that's just the kind of producer that he was. And for some reason, the Ernie ball wasn't working, and they went with the P bass.
Yeah, there's still debate to this day on which songs he used it on. And to me, like I don't have the best ear for it, but I think one for me that it's just clear as day would be like Mutt. Like to me, Mutt is like you can hear just that slinkiness of the Ernie
Yeah.
ball.
Mutt's
in
another
there.
one where it's very prominent. Yeah, I'd say Mutt and Windy Clear. Yep.
Yeah. So obviously, feel free to listen to those and make your best guess. But I don't know that Mark has ever confirmed, and he has the files, I'm sure. I don't know if he's ever confirmed which is which, to be honest. I don't think so.
No, it's Mark knows gear really well, but frankly, it's the other nerds in the community that really dial into that stuff.
Yeah. So Enema is tracked partially with it, at least in some capacity, and some of it is kept. And then at that point, I mean, Enema of the State comes out, they blow up. I mean, him and Tom have Fender endorsements and really have been on Fender, outside of Tom switching to Gibson later on. But Mark has primarily been on Fender just ever since then.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he has been 100% a Fender player until this night in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Like literally only Fenders on stage.
I mean,
This is the first Music Man appearance in what, 27 years on
I mean,
stage.
I think I went to a sound check where he strummed a different brand that was like a charity base. But yeah, as far as like live performance and
And yeah,
actually,
recording all kinds of things, but on stage, Fender guy, right? For over
yeah.
25 years.
Yeah, pretty wild. So, I mean, at that point, we're talking 1999, we're talking 21 years. Pandemic comes around. Mark launches his Discord. It's a little bit easier to kind of ping him with some questions. Everybody's bored, everybody's at home. He starts kind of mentioning, I guess, on Twitch about going through some of his storage. His tech at the time, Robert Ortiz, RIP, was bringing bases over. And it was it's pretty cool actually in hindsight because I think everything kind of slowed down enough for Mark to be able to kind of like dig into the history of Blink and like go through his old Blink tubs and kind of appreciate just kind of nerding out with some of us, which was rad. So eventually, he bust out this green bass, and I know you played a part in that. What's your
Yeah,
recollection of that?
do we want to get into the background of that whole thing? Because it was kind of amazing when he like unveiled it
Yes,
after
absolutely.
being in deep sleep, cold storage for decades,
Yeah.
I will say though, I want to point out, and you have your own reaction, but when I saw video clips and pictures of this from Raleigh the other night, I was trim struck. Do you know that word?
No.
So you can Google it. Trim struck is when you're so taken with someone you find attractive that you have horse blinders on. And I was trim struck, dude. Like I could not believe it. But anyways, to rewind it back, at one point, Mark and Robert was still working with him at the time. Mark said, hey, I'm looking, I might be fishing some bass guitars out of storage. And our friend Joey, who's just the biggest stan in the world for Scully, we all know Scully, was like, oh, if you got Scully out of storage and we could like see it in your studio or something, or you could talk about it, that would be amazing. And of course, I knew he's only got one Music Man left, and I'm the Music Man Stan popping. So I was like, could you get like Mr. Green out? And Mark did the coolest thing. He did the coolest thing ever. He was like, hey, if you donate to one of my charities, right? He supports oncology research. He supports the Children's Hospital in LA. He says, hey, donate some money to my charity, and I'll have Robert go to storage and bring these two basses to my home studio. So we did. We donated money to charity. He got Robert on the horn. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing pictures of here they are. Here's the two basses just laying there in the studio. And this was the time. This was January 22. So we were kind of like over pandemic times, but Mark was still Twitch streaming like quite a bit because he wasn't out doing anything. Band's not back together yet. And again, he was doing kind of like donations for charity. He was like, people can request songs, and I'll play them on Twitch. And so one of my like deepest cuts that I love so dearly, poppin' from Dude Ranch is Emo. I think
Mm.
Emo. Do you love Emo? I
Oh,
love that song.
love it. And Ian Grushka's favorite Blink-182 song. I asked
Wait,
him that.
really?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Really? Favorite song?
Yep. It's
Yeah.
because of the
I think,
bass line, dude. It's so sick.
oh, well, and the fact that, like Mutt, the song is completely driven by the bass line. I think it's very innovative playing style for Mark, even though we're just, rocking the E and A string. I love it. I love Emo. I think it's a fantastic Blink song, unheralded gem. So I requested, I said, Mark, can you play Emo on Mr. Green? And he did it. This is what he said.
Wait, who is this one for? I want to make sure that they're here. This one was supposed to be for. Hang on. This one was for. Who was this for? Ah, Davey. Are you in? Are you in here, Davey? I want to make sure. Okay, Davey's here.
I mean, isn't that amazing?
Dude, that's so crazy, man. And like, it doesn't, I don't know, man. It seems like that was a lifetime ago. It wasn't too long, but gosh, what a time. It's like Mark was getting bored streaming. Like, dude, I was playing on stream with him, like Ghost of Tsushima. He was playing
Yeah,
Animal
yeah.
Crossing. And then he
Uh-huh.
finally figured out his rig to be able to like play Blink songs
Uh-huh.
and stream. It
Uh-huh.
was
Uh-huh.
so rad. And then
Yeah.
to be able to like, dude, benefit a charity and have these gems brought out of storage. And I can still picture it. I have the photo somewhere, but just
Yeah.
laying on his studio floor is Mr.
Yeah.
Green and Scully. Just
There they
no,
are.
no big deal.
And it's
Ah,
I don't know how you feel, but like ever since the pandemic, I feel like we're living in dog years. And even though this is 22, it feels like a decade ago.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah.
technically he played with it at that point,
That was
but
that was the return of Mr. Green, right?
that was the return of it. It exists still. It was in storage forever. Like you said, I mean, decades. I mean,
And
that's,
he had it in the studio for a few months and then it just went back to storage. It just went back.
yeah. So at that point, I mean, we assumed that I guess it was just back in storage. I really hadn't thought about it too much, to be honest. Now,
Totally forgot about it.
a couple years ago, so after that, Tom returns. I mean, it's
I
like
know it's like how many returns can we get, right?
it's like there's so many awesome moments with Blink in the past few years. So Tom DeLonge returns to Blink. This new era is back. Mark beats cancer. Amazing. And during that, the 2023 tour, they're out, and as part of the VIP, they have what they're calling just like a VIP museum, and it's kind of like just a couple traveling, I guess, cases where they've put in some either like guitars or posters or just kind of rad things.
Yeah, it was
And
still like vintage memorabilia, vintage gear in those big glass cases. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, those cases are sick, but the only way that you kind of can see those is if you have VIP tickets or whatever to the show. And in 2023, because we went to one that we should have talked about on a podcast 2 years ago,
Right.
we saw the fucking sticker strat in one, dude.
Oh, oh,
The sticker strat was there along with Mark's first bass, the Mako.
oh, the Mako. So be honest with me, Poppin. Did your heart skip a beat when we saw that in the
Dude,
case?
to
We,
me,
we were
that's
like, we were inches away from it.
I just want to like
Uh,
lean over the barricade.
uh, I want to lick the glass. I don't care about germs.
I just want to be like, does anybody work here? Can we hold this? Especially the sticker strap. We helped get that thing together. Hello.
I know, I know. Hello.
But dude, I mean, God, I wish there was a Blink museum. I wish there was like a real Blink museum, dude. Like half the punk rock museum should be fucking dedicated to Blink.
Hey, hey, don't let Fatty hear you say that. Fat Mike could be like, hey, all the punk all the time, man.
I mean, for God's sake. But anyways, that was pretty rad. Like to have any of these old axes brought out and on display for the public to like see and just kind of take a photo with or whatever.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was dope. And at the time, I don't know if you remember this or not, before the Nashville show, we were sitting at a bar. I don't remember if we had a beverage or not. You probably did. I may not have. And the whole tour, Tom had not played the sticker strat. And we were just praying, like, dude, you gotta play it
Oh,
once.
yeah, I remember this. What happened? Tell me.
Like just bust it out for damn it just once. Like, please. I remember even telling Mark that, and Mark was like, I hope he does it. So as we're sitting at the bar before the show, Justin, Tom's tech, post a picture of the sticker strat like being worked on at his
It
workbench.
was like laying on the work table, and we like
Yes.
lost our minds. We
And we
lost our
lost
minds.
we lost our minds. We were like, "Oh my God, if he fucking plays this thing tonight when we're here,
Well,
sh
because it was the last night of the U.S. tour. So if he's
yes.
gonna bust that out for damn it, right? That's gonna be the night.
Yes." And I was thinking, "Man, this is the most destiny shit ever. If you and I who helped get this thing pieced back together and, Jeff, friend of the podcast, friend of Tom, like Tom's right-hand man, used our research and videos and your sticker art that Let's got him and totally recreated the sticker strat for him. His OG restickered it. Tom was like emotional about it, super stoked. Here we are, 2023. And I thought there was a decent chance that he was going to bust it out because I was like, why the fuck else would he be stringing it up or working on it?
I think I said it to you when we had our beer. I said I like 50-50. 50-50,
Yeah.
it's gonna come out.
Well, lo and behold, he did not.
Nah, nah.
It actually ended up being, do you know why it was out?
I believe it was being like detail photographed for like the miniature one that To the Stars
Yes,
put out. Is that correct?
it's exactly correct.
Okay,
So
okay,
he was
okay.
doing a photo shoot for the mini sticker strat I have right here
Detail
that
shots. Yeah.
actually, oddly enough and funny enough, is incorrect based on our research, which is fucking hilarious. Yeah, so the back of that, there's no gutter mouth in real life, folks, which is pretty funny. And so we thought that, maybe there was a chance that Tom was going to bust it out. He didn't. And then last year, they did the same thing last year. I'm trying to remember. I know Tom's guitar was the black and the blue splatter Gibson, which is actually one of my favorite, it may be my favorite Gibson of his. It's like the Kiss and Tell era. It's a really rad one. I'm trying to
Okay.
remember what Mark had on the last one. Did he put his P bass in there? Or did he even have anything?
I don't. You're talking about the VIP case in between
Yeah.
we saw in 23 and the one now.
Yeah.
I don't remember at
I
all.
can't recall. It may have been the P bass. I'll see if I can find it. But
I think
um,
that his Fender amp was still in there with the little cut vinyl Scott Rayner bunny on the side with the red
yes.
knobs. You know that one? That was still there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like Mark would have had something last tour, but I can't remember. And I'm
I
not
don't
a
remember.
VIP, so I didn't get to go to that. So
Right,
I don't have
right.
any cool pictures. This year, so the new tour, Missionary Impossible, has started with Alkaline Trio. And I feel like you and I could talk all day about just how rad the set is and the fucking set list. Like, dude, I mean,
You
we
know
need,
what? You know what? We'll save it because you're going to shows. I'm going to a show. We'll do an app after. We'll talk about it after.
yeah, I mean, we will hit on this in a future episode at length, but to give this 3 minutes, dude, the new set list, Josie, we have
Oh,
potential for Apple
oh,
Shampoo,
oh,
Waggy,
oh,
Pathetic. We've already
oh,
got online songs. Every time I look for
oh,
you, dude, like take off your pants and jacket. You already know is the
uh,
goat to me. I'm losing
uh.
my shit over here, dude. Like, what are you thinking about this?
I mean, haven't you said Jacket's your number one? That's your number one.
Oh, easily. Yes.
And Mark said he said on socials like there's six Jacket tracks in contention for rotation, right?
Yep.
And we already got two deeps. We got online songs, right?
Yep.
I don't know about you. I just some people nerd harder. I just say a deep cut wasn't a single, right?
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
call Dumpweed a deep cut because it's not a single, meaning like the normies who only know the radio songs might not know it, right?
Right. Right.
So I count online songs and roller coaster as deep cuts and amazing. But for me, Poppin, Josie, Josie, and we know why Josie, right?
Dude, you're in the fucking video.
Because I'm in the fucking video.
Mm.
So like when the first night, because we had our hopes up, right? Because I don't know who leaked it, if it was Trav or Mark, but someone leaked the rehearsal list, right? And
Yeah.
everyone got excited because we see all this business in there. We're like, Apple Shampoo, Waggy, are they? And to be fair to Mark, I don't think he would intentionally fuck with us, but I felt he was light trolling. Like, I'm like, we're never gonna get these songs, right? So to be perfectly frank, Pop and I was skeptical. I was skeptical that any of these on the rehearsal list beyond like the greatest hits standard kind of thing would come out. And then that first night, people are immediately dropping clips, immediately dropping pics. They played Josie, and not at the tail end. It was in in the front end, like in the first three or four, right? The first three or four, which tells me they're probably not going to rotate it. If it's that up front in the list, they're not going to rotate it. And I finally found the first high quality on YouTube, and I just lost my mind
Dude.
because that's the video I'm in, and that's just so like OG Blink to me. And I mean, even though Josie was a single, it never got traction on K Rock because of its tempo. It's too fast. It's too fast for radio. So I know they shipped a promo CD because I have a copy. They shopped it to K Rock and these other places, and it just died on the vine. It was never a single. And
Mm.
same with the video. The video never hit heavy rotation like Damn It did. So I still kind of sentimentally popping. I consider it a deep cut.
Man, dude, when I saw that, it's hands down the best set list I've seen in 20 fucking years. I mean, anybody bitching about that, as I said, I had to do an emergency pod on the set list last week. I said, if you're complaining about this, you're out of your fucking mind. I mean,
Yeah, people on Reddit are like, yeah, but no touchdown boy. I'm like, will you please
yeah,
shut up? This is amazing.
you've got to, I mean, you've got to be somewhat realistic on this stuff. Like, believe me, I get it. But dude, to get Josie and
Josie and
Eminem's,
25, never would have thought. Never
dude,
would have thought.
Eminem's online
Ah,
songs,
ah,
roller coaster,
ah.
natives. Like, dude, come on. And then, yeah, if we even begin to get Apple Shampoo, Waggy,
Yeah, yeah,
Pathetic,
yeah.
like,
Amazing, amazing. And I
ah,
would say for Jacket, and I do listen to Jacket still like regularly. Online songs and roller coaster in my top five, easy from that album, easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hope Descendants cover. Nobody expected that. That wasn't even
And,
on the
and
rehearsal
and
list.
I love like all the kids who've never heard of the Descendants and they get introduced to it and now they're like
Yeah.
checking them out on Spotify and like that's so awesome to give that tribute to such a roots band for them. I never would have expected a cover like Hope out. No, I never thought that would come back. Blew my mind.
It's cool, dude, to see them bust that out. And then, dude, with the stage set up and no effect stickers plastered behind them and just all the Easter eggs, like they're doing this right. And I love how Mark said this tour is for them and the fans. And it seems
Yep,
like it. And
yep.
I don't know why, and I said it on the emergency pod. I don't know why, but I just felt it coming into this tour that this show would be so much better for me than the last two. I feel like it has to do with the fact that it's the smaller amphitheater. I say smaller compared to what you saw Blink in. It's a little different, but to me, the amphitheater feel with that, traditional pit up front at least, compared to a larger arena or stadium show. I don't know. I just felt like out of the gate that would be better. And then
Well, the whole theater in the round with the logo I thought was rad, but that's really for the big reunion celebration, right? That's the
yes.
big huge to do. And I watched the YouTube clips of the first night, and I loved that intimate graffiti, poster slabbed club setting. And then when Natives comes on and it just like backs away and the stage gets all huge, I thought that was so rad.
To me, it feels like, from what I've seen, and I've tried to avoid some spoilers, but from what I've seen, it feels more like a rock show as opposed to like a production, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like the 23 tour, I mean, they had inflatables, which was
They
sick.
had they had
There's
the
no,
four-way jumbotron in the middle with all the projections and everything. And
yeah, I mean, it's Skankin' Rabbit is coming to life floating behind them. Like, obviously, that's fucking awesome. And then the 24 tour, they had the smiley face kind of centered stage or whatever, a little less production, but
yeah, yeah.
still just kind of a huge feel. So coming into this tour, I was just stoked, man. Obviously, being out with Alkaline Trio is a big deal. And then I don't feel like they're gonna have to be locked into like a one more time album cycle set list. And obviously that is the case.
I, I
So
I I really think for Mission Impossible for late 25, I think the band's doing it right. They saddled up with Alkaline Trio. Things went great. Obviously, at the benefit show at the Palladium, they're like, "Hey, let's go out." And the fact that they're doing like second tier and third tier cities, so they're doing the pickups for all the fans that like couldn't get to the first tier cities, I think it is really great.
yeah, it's gonna be sick. So we can leave the set list and set design talk there. We'll sync after we both go to a show. Because I'm going in a couple weeks and you're going in like 3 or 4 weeks. So
Yeah, first weekend in October. Yeah.
we'll get there. So to get back to Mr. Green, it was shown on Twitch, played on Twitch at your request and donation, which was pretty rad. And Blink has the VIP, kind of the VIP, I guess, like, I don't know, memorabilia cases that they pull out. And a couple days ago, I saw our friends over at Gear 182
Yeah, Gear
posted,
182. Yeah.
who were apparently at the VIP or on site or whatever, and posted a picture of the current case. I was like, okay.
And when I saw that on, I think it was on Instagram, I was flabbergasted. I'm like, whoa.
I was too, because I had kind of forgotten that I mean, dude, these tickets go on sale like a year ago. I mean, I got tickets to this like
Yeah,
a year ago. So you kind of
yeah.
forget like the VIP packages and all that shit. So I was kind of surprised that there was a VIP. I had forgotten about it. And when I saw that there was a case, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I look and Mr. Green's in the case, along with a Tom acoustic guitar.
With a
And
little label, like talking about what the guitar is. Like, what?
yeah, I'm like, dude, fucking Mr. Green is on display at the Blink VIP museum. Like, what in the actual fuck? You
Yeah.
screen cap it. You can take it from here because the next steps of this are just insane.
Yeah, I was just hanging on Discord one day and like posted in the chat. Because there's like, I don't know, for those that are on the server, there's like a little sub channel just for bass nerds and just bass nerd talk and stuff. And I posted the cap and I was like, wow, amazing to see Mr. Green in the case. And freaking Mark replied, and he's like, I should bring it out for a song. And
Mm.
immediately, like whatever hairs that are left on the back of my neck, like stood up. And I was like, whoa. Like, did you see that? I was like, whoa.
Do you know what my first thought was? Mark Hoppus, a man of the people. Tom would never. He would.
or Mark was trolling us because he loves to be playful on there. So I thought maybe he's just teasing, you know. But then I think his tech, Brian Diaz, was like, I'm gonna make it happen. And suddenly it felt like it might happen. And then popping the next night, it happened.
Dude, when Brian said that, because obviously he's the one who would be setting it up and like making sure it's ready to
Yeah,
roll.
cleaning it up, getting it all set up.
When Brian said that, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this legit has a chance to be busted out in 2025. I mean, it's there. So it's just a matter of like getting it strung up, making again, I don't even know if the damn thing's functional. I mean, like, I don't know. But when Brian said that, I felt like there was a pretty good chance. And right away, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, if you're gonna bust this thing out, in my mind,
Yeah, yeah.
it should be like a Mutt or like a Dude Ranch song, like something that he played it on back in the day. I still
That
didn't
that that would have been my guess, but that's not what happened.
yeah, and so I still in the back of my mind, I still thought maybe this would be like a one shot, couple weeks away or last show of the tour or something like that.
Sure, sure.
It never crossed my mind that it would happen, I think literally the next fucking day. So the next day comes and it's still in the back of my mind and I still just have to say, man, like the fact that Mark chats with fans and even Brian to an extent, coming on and jumping on Discord and just being open with the fans about, I guess, base chat and just kind of nerding
Yeah,
out. Like,
I'd like to just give mad props to Brian Diaz Tech, who is always so open and so willing to answer even the weirdest, nerdiest questions about how the bases are set up and what's I don't know, the millimeter of the strings on each one. Like he's so giving of his knowledge, and just props to that guy.
yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's really rad because a lot of people are not like that. Like,
But
it's
the people in the little base sub channel are really into
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's really cool, and even the Blink community in general. I mean, it's fairly small, man. Like when you get into the folks that are as nerdy as we are, like it's pretty fucking small, dude. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not a massive group or whatever. So it's pretty rad, man, to be able to just kind of chat with Mark and his tech about, whatever fucking bass he's gonna use at the next Blink show. Like, dude, that's awesome. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
So we kind of have this teed up to where we think there's a chance that this thing might be played, and we're geeking out about it. Like obviously just
Again, I thought Mark might be trolling or teasing, but then when Diaz is like, he literally said, "I'm going to make this happen," I was like, "Whoa, whoa,
see, I
okay."
believe, and I believed Mark. Like, at least in my mind, I thought Mark would be down to do it. Now, there's a whole slew of things that need to happen for that to take place. I mean, it's got to be yanked out of VIP. So whoever was VIP that night, I don't know if they got to see Mr.
It
Green,
was
which
just an empty spot in the case. Like, sorry.
just just like a post-it note. Sorry.
Which is funny because that's what we dreamed would have happened with Sticker Strat, and this time the dream came true.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, we weren't there, but that's another story. But yeah, I mean, I felt like Mark would at least be down to do it. But the fact that Brian obviously went out of his way very quickly to make sure it was set up and ready for stage use. I mean, that's a big deal, dude. Like we said, I mean, that's a totally different bass, hasn't played it in forever. All of a sudden, they're playing last night, and as what tends to happen during these shows, some of the Blink nerds are kind of either huddling either in private chats or Discord or just whatever, looking for clips and reels of the current show and trying to figure out what the set list is. And I'm trying to remember the first picture I saw of it, but somebody had posted a picture and was like, he's fucking playing Mr. Green. I was
I
like,
think I think the first picture I saw that someone put on socials, he was like holding it, like lovingly holding it, saying something about it, and I was like, "What?" And the thing is, Poppin, I was at a movie.
oh,
I was at a movie, and so the minute I get out of the movie, my phone's blowing up. People are texting me going, "He played Mr. Green. He played Mr. Green." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I had to like rush home and like get on my laptop and be like, "What is even going on right now?"
yeah. When people were flipping out about this, you weren't there. I was like,
Nope,
Davey's not in front of his computer right now. He's gonna
nope.
shit when he sees this. Yeah. So posts started surfacing of like he's playing this, and I got to shout out the lady whose photo I totally stole. Madam Boss had a great picture up front of Mark just holding it.
Yeah,
And
I think that would have been the one I saw. Yeah.
yeah, and then there was also a picture of that somebody posted of, I guess probably the larger screen in the amphitheater or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's on the Jumbotron, like at an angle.
Yeah. And dude, my mind was blown. And at that point, we didn't have like a
Unreal.
video yet, so I wasn't sure what he
Yeah,
played.
and no one said what song. I hadn't heard it. I hadn't a clip. No.
Yeah, and I didn't know what he played it on. Now I did notice there was a capo. So my best guess was, I guess maybe I Miss You, but at that point everything was just coming in so fast. I wasn't totally sure, but lo and
Yeah,
behold,
interesting. So I just gave it a quick scan. I didn't even see the capo, and my first assumption was Wendy Clear, right? Because Wendy Clear was in the reunion set list that came out. That seems like a natural fit. He recorded that song with it. Nope.
busted out during I Miss You last night in Raleigh, North Carolina, right?
Which
That's it.
which which was the last song I would have ever expected him to play a Music Man on.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Yeah. But it kind of makes sense because that's one that I think they shift a new bass in and it's a one shot
Oh, is it
and
a
then it's
different
out.
tuning or something? I know that you said there's a
Mm,
capo,
yeah, I don't know if it's a different tuning or just the capo component. I mean,
but in the set that's like a one-off bass, and then Diaz switches out again. Is
I
that?
believe so. I mean, obviously I haven't been to the show yet, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
suspect, I mean, from what I've seen, that was the only song he played it on. So, I mean, it seems like he busted it out for I Miss You and was done with it at that point. So we start getting the pictures, and then I start seeing clips that it was I Miss You, which is fucking insane. I actually woke up to this morning. I saw Gear had posted later in the night that Mark actually had introduced it and said something of the effect of, I used this on Enema of the State. I haven't used this
Do
in
do we have a vid of that? Do we have a clip of him like talking about it?
somebody this morning sent me a full one that I posted that has like even a longer introduction,
Oh
which was
wow.
fucking funny. And he said that he pulled it out of the Blink-182 VIP museum. He hasn't played it in 20 years. He played it on Enema. And then what's funny is he says, I really like you guys, so I'll bust it out for you.
Get the pun in there. Get the pun in there.
And then he played it.
What can we do this? I haven't played this particular bass guitar in probably 20 something years. So it's the last time I used this guitar really was to record Enema of the State. So that gives you an idea. Yeah.
Did you really use that on that record?
I did, yeah. I took it out of the fucking Blink-182 museum to play it for y'all, because I really like you guys.
That's the fucking stupidest joke. If you laugh at that, that was the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, it's so rad. And dude, I mean, I don't know, man. I try to get a pulse sometimes of like how many people actually know about it or care about it. I mean, I think the fact that he introduced it as the enemy.
The rail at least went wild. The people
Yeah.
up front know. They know.
I mean, I think at least the fact that he introduced it as being played on Enema, like that got a pop from the crowd. So I think I'm glad I'm actually glad he said something
Yeah, yeah.
because I want people who were there to be able to appreciate that who maybe wouldn't have known otherwise. I mean, I don't know. It's tough for me. Sometimes I try to remove myself from like a super fanboy perspective. Like if I go to a random concert, like I don't know the fucking names of their basses, dude. Like I don't know.
Dude, often I don't know the name of the bass player when I'm going to see a band.
Yeah, seriously.
You know?
So it's I don't know. It's kind of tough to think about like outside of our little bubble of literally the most hardcore Blink nerds. Which I mean,
Hmm.
how this is kind of a fun discussion in and of itself. Like obviously there's a lot of Blink hardcore fans out there, but when it comes to like the one percenters of just complete nerddom and like historical fandom and like that side of things, like how many of us do you think there are? Like 20?
I have no idea. All I know is that there's a French word for it and there's an Italian word for it. The French word is connoisseur, right? Who has the very rarefied taste. And then in Italian, right, we say an aficionado. An aficionado. And you find people who know so much about wine or about cigars or about whatever. Some of us, it's just a band that we love, that we know so much about. But yeah, there's probably 2 dozen people in the world that have that like deep level of knowledge, especially with gear. Like, there, I mean, there's
Oh,
people that argue about what pedal did they have on what tour. I mean, you're getting really granular here.
yeah. Ah, we're such fucking nerds, and I love it, dude. It's
Yeah.
cool,
I
man.
mean,
Like,
what's life if you don't care about something, right?
that's true.
And I feel this way about sports. Like, I don't really follow sports closely, but I love my friends that are so passionate about it, and they know the stats, and they know when players get traded, and they have their fantasy team. And I'm like, dude, love what you love. That's amazing. The thing that's death to me, popping, is when someone's meh and they don't care about anything. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, care about something, you know? And
Vi
I just love passion. That's all I'm saying. I love passion.
we care for nothing, Lebowski.
We care about nothing. So be passionate about something. Some of us, it's about blinking their gear, you know?
We could have worse hobbies. Black tar
Totally.
heroin,
Totally.
9
Yeah.
yards.
Gambling, hookers, you don't have those problems.
Yep. So he busted out and the video surfaced. He introduces it. And I haven't seen the set list tonight yet, but I don't know if he's going to play it again. But man, I think to kind of wrap things up a little bit, I mean, dude, Mr. Green, 2025, busted out on stage on a fucking tour with Alkaline Trio. Like, dude, what fucking dimension are we living in? This is absurd.
It's the best of all possible timelines. That's what I would say.
It's pretty wild, man. Like to think about where everybody like in the Blink camp has come in the past few years. Like, dude, it's wild. It's really, really wild. Like, even if I would have dreamt up a perfect scenario in 2019, like I never would have guessed. Dude, I was one of those that like I genuinely didn't think Tom would ever be back in the band. And if it was going to happen, I felt like it would be 15 years. I thought it would be a long time. So the fact that, I mean, Tom's back, new album rules, deluxe album, multiple tours, out on tour with Alkaline Trio. I mean, incredible set list, the fucking sticker strat of Tom, like that we helped with, Mark's
Hmm.
busting out and Ernie, like, dude,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God. It's pretty crazy. So I think to kind of wrap things up, any final thoughts, I guess, on the StingRay being busted out? We've talked about it quite a bit here, but just it's rad, dude. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, I have two thoughts. One thought is this is a one-off, and it goes back into the VIP case, memorabilia case, and that's where it lives for the rest of the tour. My hopes and prayers are that he makes it a regular thing, even if it's not every night. That Mr. Green is coming out for "I Miss You." It clearly fits with that song. So, just a bass nerd for a sec, given that the Stingray has an active pickup and has a 3-band EQ, you can really futz with the sound quite a bit, right? As opposed to Mark Six, which only have the volume knob. So correct me if I'm wrong, but like I don't listen to "I Miss You" a lot, but like when you listen to it on the album, like the bass is real thick and thuddy. I mean, I even think he plays a stand-up bass in the music video to kind of reinforce that. So I bet if you like dialed down the treble and even took some out of the mids, that bass would just feel perfect for that song. I don't know if that was a discussion with him and Diaz or whatever, but it seems to have been a great fit. The clip I saw, I thought it sounded great. I hope he keeps it. I hope he keeps it.
That'd be sick. We'll see. I at least hope he busts it out at the shows that we go to. Or we get to see.
Yeah. So I'm going to the last night of the tour after a couple Vegas festival dates, but the last night of the actual tour dates, I'm on that last night. So I'm hoping and praying that he brings Mr. Green out.
That'd be sick, man. Well, here we are, 2025, nerding out. We had to talk about this, man. Like it felt like an emergency pod situation. I actually started to try and record this by myself today when I was driving, and it was so shitty. It was the first time I tried to do one from the car, and I was trying to use my voice notes, and I started recording myself. I'm like, this isn't gonna work. We chatted about it. We made it happen. Emergency pod situation. Mr. Green has been brought back to life. Davey, we will chat after our shows. We'll sync at some point. There's also a 2-year project that you and I have been working on that's going to see some light pretty soon.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
guitar. Can't believe it's taken that long, but it'll be worth the wait. Other than that, man, I mean, anything else we need to hit on? Or are we good?
It's just great to talk with you again, man. And I feel like Mr. Green, it's been resurrected. It's like an emerald zombie. And I'm just so stoked to see it back out there. Of all the picks I took, I only have 3. That's how rare this bird was. And to track, I mean, remaining, I tracked Enema, and then there's still a quarter of Enema probably that it's still on there. and it's just back in action, man. And I just love to see it. I know you feel the same. I just love to see it. Great talking with you, Poppin.
Yep. Enjoyed it, Davey. We'll talk again soon. Appreciate it.